Alexa? Alexa? Siri? Siri? God, are you there? Siri? Oh, Lord, this is worse than having teenagers. Alexa?
What is it, Jane?
Siri?
No, it's Lily. You butt dialed me again.
I did not. My phone was nowhere near my butt.
Look, I don't understand technology, and I've never understood your body, but somehow the two came together and you got me.
Well, perfect timing, because I wanted to remind you about the virtual gala for the ACLU of Southern California.
The ACLU virtual gala.
Yes. It's their annual event, only this year. It's online.
I know that. You got me. You got me right at ACLU. I was all set up and ready to watch.
Oh, well, okay. Hey, did you remind Martin?
Why would I remind Martin? He's a big boy.
I'll text him. And what about Sam?
Sam called me, wanted to know what the link was. I said, Google it like I did.
Okay, I'll text him too.
I made brownies. Too bad you can't have one.
Lily, eat that and you'll miss the whole event.
Are you kidding? I'm going to get so much more out of it because I will see layers.
Jane, what is this text? Are you in jail?
Jane, you texted, are you in jail?
You're really nice throw pillows in jail.
I'm not in jail, and if I was, I wouldn't call you guys. I'd call the ACLU, and I have several times, actually, and the ACLU is why we're here.
Ah, yes, the virtual gala.
The future is ours. The moment is now, so says the invitation.
Oh, don't cry, Sam. Oh, no, the Bill of Rights always makes him cry.
And the Gettysburg Address.
And don't start with the preamble.
We the people.
You started.
Yeah, well, the event is starting.
Quick question. What is the invitation saying about pants? Because I'm not.
I'm not.
Me neither.
I plead the fifth. The future is ours. The moment is right now.
It's a weird time in history, isn't it? It's a weird moment. Do you feel weird?
Here comes the election. God in her heaven, the election.
Sí, se puede.
Even if I weren't being honored tonight, I would be here to honor Anita Hill.
When I think back on those hearings and Senator Simpson saying, watch out for this woman, I think maybe for once he was right.
They can try and take my rights, but they can't take my fucking joy. That doesn't mean I'm gonna stop fighting. That just means I'm gonna do it with a big, gay smile on my face.
I'd love some water. I wish it was vodka, though.
The truth is, in America, I can say whatever the fuck I want to say about our government.
As Americans, we are taught from childhood that being American means having the right to say what you want to say. When that freedom comes under attack, you go into defense mode.
The fact that we continue to hold this event is proof that the Bill of Rights still needs protecting.
We face a basic question in this country. Who does this government work for?
The actions of our current administration has magnified the truth that so many in this country view all non-white Americans as second-class citizens.
The systemic culture that has birthed my reluctance to speak is one that I no longer care to fortify.
We must confront systemic oppression as a doctor would a disease. You identify it, you call it out, you treat it, and you defeat it. Those of you in attendance tonight who are not officially affiliated with the ACLU, or perhaps only cursorily so, I would have you ask yourselves the same question. Where do I fit in? What do I have to offer toward the good fight? Chances are it's more than you've probably considered.
My voice was just one voice. You are many. We are many.
While it is important to stand up for yourself, when we stand up for each other, the sky's the limit.
That's why I like the ACLU, because that's what you guys do. Whenever somebody's out of line, whenever somebody's abusive when they shouldn't be, y'all speak up.
On December 11th, I will be 87 years old, and for that I'm thrilled. No, please, no, don't do it, don't do it. I mean, that's a swell thing. It means I'm still here. It makes me feel so young. And you, ACLU, are 95, and thank God you're still here.
If I am emotional, it is because this is personal. This is about me and my fellow human beings being seen as fully human.
If this guy right here, if he can risk his life to fight for our future, the least we can do is refuse to give up when things don't go our way.
Don't be afraid of what comes next. Be ready.
Hello, everybody. Billy Porter here, and welcome to the ACLU of Southern California's Bill of Rights virtual gala. The future is ours. The moment is now. And I am so honored to host this event because I have always been such a great admirer of the ACLU. If you don't know, the attorneys and advocates of the ACLU, that's the American Civil Liberties Union, they like to say that they have only one client, and that's a piece of paper called the Constitution. We the people. So when you support the ACLU, you are supporting the Constitution. As we all know, that protection is critical in the here and now of this world we live in. Our Constitution and our democracy are under attack, make no mistake. And the ACLU stands on the front line. Frederick Douglass once said, and I will say it again for him, eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. Vigilance is what we get from the ACLU, and we'll hear more about that throughout this event. It being 2020, the ACLU's Gala this year has moved from fancy digs to a gloriously democratic shared collective space on the internet. The internet abyss, I like to call it, which means, on the positive side, that we are reaching a broader audience, perhaps in perpetuity, with a remarkable roster of incredible individuals appearing on behalf of the ACLU, including some of the past honorees you just saw in that video. Heads up, this is a live stream. While watching this show, the fast forward and other functions will not be available. That means you won't be able to rewind either. So sit still and sit tight. And a shout out to the generosity of our Liberty and Justice Leaders benefactors, George Malsbarzer and Justin Tranter. We also thank our Champions of Justice benefactors, Suzanne Lerner and the Michael Stars Foundation, Paramount Pictures, Alan Siroti, and Peg Yorkin. Okay, so now, join us as we pay tribute to the critical work of the ACLU of Southern California in our courts, our legislature, our communities, and certainly in keeping their eyes on the upcoming election. Allow me first to introduce the extraordinary actress and one of my heroes, the truly great woman, Rita Moreno.
Hello, I'm Rita Moreno, and I proudly lend my voice in support of the ACLU and its astonishing work. As Americans, we know that no matter where we come from, whatever our color, our skin, or however we worship, we all strive to find opportunity and to provide for ourselves and our families, right? But let's be clear. Today, certain politicians would turn us against one another. They are so busy doing others, they have no interest in doing unto others. The administration has literally torn children from the arms of immigrant parents. We don't even know where these children are. So thank God it's the lawyers and advocates of the ACLU of Southern California who lead the fight to find these children and connect them with their family members. Can you imagine what a thrill that must be for them? You should know the ACLU is helping people like Osni. Osni, originally from Honduras, who was studying to become a nurse and supporting his mom and 2 young sisters when ICE agents disguised themselves as police to trick Osni into believing his family was in danger. He was arrested, he was handcuffed, and his family was thrown into chaos, traumatize. The ACLU is doing everything in its power to stop ICE from using this kind of horrible deception and trickery. Do you know why they do that? To meet their quota of arrests. Can you believe that? Alejandro, the father of 4, married to an American citizen, was originally from Mexico and working as a plumber when ICE arrested him. He spent 12 months in detention. He watched as the COVID-19 pandemic struck and the staff arrived in masks, but there were no masks for people detained, no testing. So when detainees became sick, the staff started quitting, and the detainees found themselves in group lockdown with no social distancing at all. So what do you do? What do you do to protect immigrants trapped in for-profit detention facilities that won't provide COVID testing, distancing, or even masks? I'll tell you what you do. You call the ACLU to help you. That's what you do. And here's one more story. Private First Class Angie Sama, originally from Burkina Faso, West Africa, enlisted in our armed forces as a non-citizen, putting his life on the line for the promise of an expedited path to citizenship. You guessed it. The Trump administration broke that promise. But I have terrific news. This summer, in an ACLU lawsuit, Sama and 6 other plaintiffs convinced a federal court to force the government to keep its promise and to allow that path to citizenship. This decision changes the lives of thousands of active duty non-citizen service members. The ACLU works on local, state, and national fronts to protect all immigrants, citizens, and non-citizens alike, from unlawful imprisonment, discrimination, and law enforcement abuses. That's why from my early 20s, I have stood by the ACLU and now compel you, beg you to stand in support with me. It's absolutely imperative to be an ACLU voter, up and down throughout the ballot. Please, if you can, do your part this November in this critical election and vote. If you think I'm being pushy, I am. Vote. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Diana Warren, and I'm thrilled to be able to introduce my song Free from the one and only Ivan, sung by the extraordinary Charlie Puth. When I sat down to write a song about being free, I couldn't help but think about what that means. Freedom is such a fundamental part of who we are in America. It was built into our founding documents, and the ACLU works to ensure that those freedoms apply to everyone. We all deserve to be free. Free from injustice, free from racism, free from poverty, free from oppression. I am so happy to be able to support the work of the ACLU of Southern California and their mission to create a strong and just society where everyone is free.
They'll never know just who you are, but they can't turn your bright star dark. They'll try to hold your spirit down. Couldn't do it then, can't do it now. They'll try to tell you who to be, but they can't change the way you feel. Can't tame a wild heart. You are free, free. Free is the grass that's right under your feet. Free is the sky underneath your wings. Free as the wind
sick, and we're just hoping our bodies are strong enough.
I'm gonna die here.
I just hope that other people could get out and be with their family. I was crying when I see my mom and my nieces and nephews.
ACLU is suing the U.S. government over conditions that allowed COVID-19 to spread through federal prisons.
A letter demanding the resignation of Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva. The ACLU of Southern California is suing Pomona Police Department.
Very loud and very angry protesters showed up.
The ACLU Foundation of Southern California is suing Los Angeles and San Bernardino over curfews.
Call the name of George Floyd.
Say enough is enough.
Right.
Defund the police! Defund the police!
In a landmark decision for LGBTQ rights, the Supreme Court ruled employers cannot discriminate on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity.
The Supreme Court has blocked the Trump administration's efforts and their plan to roll back DACA.
Louisiana abortion law is unconstitutional and needs to be abolished.
Sam, are you there? Sam, you're on mute. I can't hear you. You've got to turn your... Oh, just let him go on.
Sorry about the mute. I just got so overcome.
Yes, I was worried about you. I know the way you can get, and I'm the same way.
I'm overwhelmed by the terrible things these people go through.
I know.
And the compassion of the attorneys and the advocates.
And their fire.
I mean, I've played lawyers before. I can do that. But these people stand up when lives are on the line.
Sam, you're going to run out of toilet paper.
Don't mind me.
You know what I realized? I'll read something horrendous that's happened in our country, the chaos that we're living in, and I'll think, oh, God, I hope the ACLU is on it.
The news on the radio, I think the same thing.
And at the end of the story, they'll quote an ACLU attorney, or they'll mention the ACLU has filed suit, and I'll think, oh, thank God, or whoever. I'm so relieved.
Thank the ACLU.
That's right. So have you clicked the link?
What link?
The donation link. It's right there on my screen. I don't know where it is on yours.
I see it.
So, show some support and you'll feel better about the ACLU.
How much?
Even a small amount if you're strapped. Times are hard, but put your support where it works.
I will if you will.
I'll race you to it.
Deal.
Hi, I'm David Byrne. The importance of voting local has never been more evident than this past year when the federal government has forced confrontations or left state and local governments to fend for themselves. The ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union of Southern California, has been working hard to ensure that everyone who is eligible to vote can and will vote in this election. My passion for voting is evident in the show that I did, in this film of that show, American Utopia. Well, it's time to build the American Utopia that we want to live in, to get closer to that, to see that our values might be enacted by the people that represent us. And the process starts with you and me. The future is ours. We need to seize it. And the moment is now. Please, I'm begging of you, vote.
Hi there. I'm Norman Lear. I am now pretty much the oldest person anywhere I go. So it's a safe bet I'm older than you, but I'm still young enough to look forward to the future and to believe we can make the world a better place. That puts me in very good company. Certainly very good company with the ACLU of Southern California. I have been involved with the ACLU for over 50 years, and I still serve as the chair of the Board of Trustees. The ACLU was founded in response to sometimes violent police crackdowns on political protesters, labor leaders, and war activists, and anyone who criticized the government. That sounded like it could have happened today. But it actually was in 1920. I've seen a lot, but this moment is like no other. This moment in the shadow of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's passing, this moment in the chaos in our current leadership, and the pandemic, the coddling of white supremacy from the Oval Office, the threats to our election process, every other issue we all care about. I can't believe the ACLU is still fighting. Safe to say, the urgency in our world makes the importance of the ACLU even greater. The ACLU stands by the Constitution, as do I, and I'm sure all of you, preserving, defending, demanding, and expanding the rights guaranteed by the Bill of Rights. Now it's my great pleasure, my honor, to introduce the Executive Director of the ACLU of Southern California, Hector Viagra.
Thank you, Norman. My friends, we live in a moment of constant lies and hard truths. The sitting president not only questions, but threatens the integrity of our elections. He gives credence to white supremacy, but he has precious little to say about the deaths of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. He attacks freedom of the press and the right to protest. He throws the legitimacy of our highest court into chaos, threatening the most basic rights of women and the LGBTQ community. As if all of this weren't enough, we're in the midst of a global pandemic and massive wildfires. The here and now of America is overwhelming. I share your worry, your fear, and your anger about our present and our future. In this moment, we must confront the harshest of truths. Our more perfect union is anything but, and our democracy is vulnerable, as it's always been, but in ways we understand so clearly now, to deception, to greed, and to hate. Frederick Douglass saw the corruption and dishonesty of his age, and he said, "It's not the light that's needed, but fire. It's not the gentle shower, but thunder. The conscience of the nation must be roused, the hypocrisy of the nation exposed, and its crimes denounced." On behalf of the ACLU, I can assure you, we will not and we cannot give up the fight. For nearly 100 years, the ACLU has never wavered from the fight. The alarm has sounded. Now is the time to bring the thunder, to expose the hypocrisy and denounce the crimes, to speak up, to speak out, and to demand justice. It's why you're here with us tonight. This moment is a call to action, but it's also a chance to celebrate and renew our commitment to each other, to the things we believe in together, to the strength and joy we feel from uniting together. That's what the American Civil Liberties Union is all about. All of us in union together. Thank you for joining us tonight.
America, America, come cast your vote with me. Come on and get down to the ballot box and cast your vote. It's our way of punching Nazis in the fucking throat. If you care about our future or democracy, come on and cast your vote with me. Vote, 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 you better vote, 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 you better vote, 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 you better vote, 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 vote. Fill our impeachable offenses every day of the week. If you want to give a shit about the guns on our street, if you care about our children, get up off of your seat. You better vote, you better vote, you better vote, goddamn it, better vote with me. Cause if we're gonna march on our streets, here we don't do secret police. Here, if elections are fair, the fascists will lose, and that's why they're trying to cheat. Here, too many people have died or survived for us to succumb to defeat. Here, vote, 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 and crown thy good with brotherhood.
From sea to shining sea. Vote. You better vote. Vote.
Black Lives Matter. By now, you've chanted it and seen it draped over apartment balconies and sported by your favorite teams during prime time. To our white and non-black friends, welcome to the conversation. I'm glad you are engaged in this struggle, but do not imagine for 1 second that this is new. Black Americans have faced state oppression and violence daily for over 400 years. The hashtags and names we know so well, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Daniel Prude, are the result of centuries of unchecked, institutionalized racism. Here, we are, America, at a tipping point with decisions to make come November. It is political. It is always, for us, political. Our democracy and our rights are on the ballot. Fortunately, no matter who is at the helm, we have allies. We have allies in our communities, and we have allies in the ACLU. Through its intersectional work, the ACLU sees clearly that racism and white supremacy remain powerful forces, and any milestone or inch of progress could be rolled back and snuffed out in an instant by those who feel threatened that they are losing power. But we can't expect the ACLU to fix this problem alone. We need you now more than ever. Vote in November and vote through the ballot. Vote like our democracy depends on it, because it does. And now, please welcome amazing musician and activist, Tom Morello.
The ACLU has been near and dear to my heart for many years. They first came to the aid of my high school underground newspaper when the dean of students tried to censor us. The ACLU has been doing great work, working on overdrive during this racism pandemic that we've been enduring in our country for centuries, but they've really ramped up their efforts now, helping support First Amendment rights of protesters, helping to fight against police brutality, helping to get criminal cops off the streets, developing a new app that provides people instant knowledge of what their rights are, what they can do in cases where they're in situations with the police department. The ACLU always doing a great job. Together, all of us in solidarity can create a more just and decent planet. Together, fighting together, working together, organizing together, we can win. Thank you, ACLU.
Might have to fight the urge to punch you in the face. Might have to scream to keep from crying. Might have to turn out all the lights and just go dark. If I said it didn't hurt, then I'd be lying. You put a bullet in my heart, you left me dying. I can't, no I won't stop breathing. 'Cause you don't like the sound anymore. And I won't stop reaching. 'Cause you don't think I'm worth reaching for. Oh no, I'll wake up tomorrow, walk out my front door with or without you.
what excites me is to listen to these struggles for civil rights and to make the connections, you know. It's not this issue or that issue, but it's where they intersect.
The intersectionality.
Exactly. A legal scholar, a woman of color, who's my friend, Kimberly Crenshaw, came up with the term some years back, but it's been really embraced by this generation, don't you think? And now I can't stop thinking about it.
It intimidated me at first, but not anymore.
Let the next generation take the lead, right? I mean, they're very capable.
Some people aren't fond of intersectionality, but to me, it's a way of looking at the problem.
And the people who don't want to look at the problem don't want to look at the whole problem. Fortunately, that doesn't seem to be the ACLU.
These young activists put me to shame. I didn't take that path. When I was fired up about issues, I went to protest and got arrested 66 times at last count.
Martin, I'm impressed. Wow.
Oh, thank you very much. But you know, we had a lot to protest, so I took my passions to the street, and these young attorneys take it to the courts as well.
And the senior attorneys too.
Yes, of course.
And a lot of people are taking it to the streets.
These are the times we live in, and these are the issues that we still face.
You know how the ACLU posted, "See you in court," after Trump was elected? They filed nearly 400 lawsuits and other actions against the Trump administration since then.
That's right, 400, but they haven't won them all.
No, unfortunately, but many critical victories.
Clearly, the ACLU is our firewall against tyranny.
Oh, God, that's good. I feel the same way. Hey, did you give yet?
I'm sorry?
There's a link on the screen. Click it and give. We're getting too old to hit the streets, Martin.
Look who's talking, Jane.
Well, you and I have to be safe, but we can still click the link and donate. The slogan says, "The future is ours, the moment is now." Click it, Martin. Now. Yeah, right there. Click.
Click.
Hey, I'm Jason George. My mother is a retired teacher. She was an educator, an activist, and president of the teachers union where I grew up, so I had a lot of teachers in my life. No one knows better than me that an education is more than just the best path to a better life. Education is a civil right. But not all students are treated equally in America. To this day, my mother gives me examples and data of what she and the ACLU fight tirelessly against. A black student acts out in class and the teacher calls the cops. A brown student is told to not bother studying because college is not for you. Another student spends the whole day in the dean's office because her t-shirt has a rainbow flag. Education equity seeks to provide all students with equal educational opportunities. And the ACLU of Southern California recognizes that students of color, LGBTQ youth, and low-income youth have historically been marginalized and under-resourced by the public school system. That's why the ACLU joined a coalition to shape and direct the Schools and Communities First initiative, a measure on California's ballot in November. Voting yes on Proposition 15 will restore $12 billion each year in resources to support our students and communities. That's why the ACLU lobbies school districts to distribute funds equally and provide school-based mental health services and social emotional learning programs. That's why the ACLU's Counselors Not Cops campaign advocates to remove police and surveillance from schools and reinvest in school counselors, social workers, psychologists, and nurses. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, the ACLU is on the ground, empowering students in Los Angeles County through its Youth Liberties Squad, a youth leadership group that champions civil rights and civil liberties, hopefully inspiring them to become the social justice warriors of tomorrow. Now, if you are a student in a public school, or if your children are enrolled in public school, or if you even know a child who is in public school, the ACLU of Southern California has your back. You should back them up as well. I do. Click the donation link and show your support.
I'm voting to end mass incarceration.
I'm voting because our elected officials should reflect our values.
DAs have incredible discretion to address how people are treated when they come through our criminal justice system.
Prosecutors are the most powerful elected officials in our criminal legal system.
In order to address systemic discrimination, we have to address the people that are in office.
I'm voting for all the clients that I represented who didn't get the justice that they deserved.
I'm voting for my son so that when he grows up, he's living in a more just world.
I'm voting for the collective of Los Angeles and the future within it.
I'm voting for Black and brown Angelenos demanding justice and accountability.
I'm voting for everybody who doesn't have a voice because their predicament doesn't allow it. I'm voting for accountability and transparency.
Vote for your family. Vote for your community. I can't vote, but would you please vote for me?
Hi, everybody. It's your old friend, Judd Apatow. It's been a stressful year. Look what it's done to me. I used to have dark hair. I used to look young and refreshed. And I'm healthy. This is healthy. The first debate was last night. I had nightmares all night afterwards. You know what that is? That's a silent scream. That's a silent scream. I couldn't even make noise. You know what last night felt like? It felt like when you're having an operation and you wake up in the middle and you feel all of it, but you're in your body and no one knows that you're awake. So you're just there and you're being operated on and no one knows you have consciousness. That's what that debate felt like. So what can we do? What can we do? There's one simple thing. We can vote. We can tell people to vote. You know, make sure you're registered. Check and make sure. Double check it, triple check it. There are people who don't want you to vote. Do it anyway. Encourage people to do it. Do it by mail. Show up. Drop it off. Do it. You know what else you can do? Support the ACLU. Every time something goes wrong in this country, I feel so much better knowing that the ACLU is out there trying to help people. So much of this is taken care of in courts. I can't go to court. I can't do that. What can I do? Tweet. I think everyone on Twitter has muted me at this point. It says I have 2.6 million people who follow me. I swear to God, I've been muted by 2.59 people. So here's the thing. Support the ACLU. They do incredible work. Read the paper. Google them. They win all the time. They protect our rights all the time. They are the good people. And make sure you vote. We can change everything if we vote. We can take over the Senate and we can pass laws that help people that are compassionate and kind and forward-thinking. We can fix the environment. We can protect people's right to choose. We can fight for civil rights. We can make everything better. But we have to vote and give the ACLU some money. Just give them some money. If you have a lot, give them a lot. If you have a little, give them a little. If you can't, tell someone else to do it. Just get involved. I'm going to lay here till the middle of November when we find out. I'm going to lay here until we find out if it changed. Please vote, please vote. Oh God, please vote.
Hello, my name is Khizr Khan. 4 years ago, the ACLU of Southern California honored me for taking a stand and calling out Donald Trump on behalf of my son and on behalf of our foundational document, the U.S. Constitution. At the time, I offered to loan then-candidate Trump my copy of the Constitution. I continued to urge Donald Trump to read the Constitution. The ACLU promised that they would see him in court, and they have. Over 400 legal actions in the past 4 years to hold him accountable to the Constitution and to the American people. No matter what political party, we must hold our leaders accountable. And I know the ACLU will do so. I ask you to continue to support ACLU with your time and your generous contributions. Thank you very much.
As a young girl, I would play in the dirt. Mud pies, earthworms, the frequent dandelion, we marveled at their cuteness. We're told they were safe to eat, not a thing about their value, about the sustenance snatch. We merely thought they're only weeds, you know? What does RBG mean to a woman like me? Yanked so many times, they've forgotten about our deep seeds. So wild, we interrupt, so wild. Everywhere is our place. I know a place, a hero once called home. 1933, when women were told to follow, fold, flinch, she became, bloomed, Brooklyn born and bred, the embodiment of dandelion. Dependency on little but the dirt thrown at her feet. Ruth, I will descent, Bader, Ginsburg, God, what a giant. Voice as tall as the room. When asked if you knew your place, I wonder, what struck you first? Their cluelessness or their audacity? I wonder if the future looked back and belly laughed. I wonder if they learned after you did what they said you shouldn't, that a woman not easily placed is not an easily replaceable woman. Dear Justice, thank you from even a human like me. From two separate sides of the privilege line, I saw you, see you, for all we share in the unseen, for the tenacity, the tender tough, the truth you wore more proudly than the jabots around your collar they could not pull. Champion of equality, check. Equal treatment for women, check. Support for gay marriage, affirmative action, the right to choose, check. The accolades, or ask the ACLU, a co-founder of the historic Women's Rights Project, check. Will never forget. Frontiero versus Richardson, Weinberger versus Wiesenfeld, Craig versus Buren, United States versus Virginia, equality versus everything. Dear Justice, we have only begun. If they block out the sun, it does not stop its rise. The people all rise. The people carry the power, the gavel, in your name. Dear Justice, we will never forget. Daughter, wife, mother, caregiver, the great fight, the grief, the keep going. And ain't that a woman? Can look despair in the eye and say, I am not finished yet. Justice is a finish line we've been training for. It's a victory lap. It's a sea of candles on the Supreme Court steps singing your name. Is a solemn oath, a dignified vote. An organized people is a threat to those who claim power but do not know their own. Is a thing you own when you deserve to win. Is a win. Is a woman called to lead. A woman called to dig in the dirt of men, to uproot a system, to thrive, to live. A dandelion, perhaps. So much sustenance, so much value, so-called safe to eat. All she asks of her brethren, in the words of Grimke, is that they take their feet from off our necks and permit us to stand upright.
I absolutely did call the ACLU. It was right after Trump had been elected, and I thought, better get ready to hit the streets. I was also so inspired by Greta Thunberg and the young protesters.
Those kids. But we have these huge problems. We can't expect these 15-year-olds to storm the barricades for us.
Well, I thought so too, so I contacted the ACLU because I wanted the right information. I wanted to exercise the right to protest.
And all that comes with protesting. It can be scary.
Well, the ACLU connected me with the right person. I got what I needed and I was good to go. So if you want to know about your rights to protest, go to the ACLU website. It's all there.
And it's not just about protesting.
Equity, equality, inclusion,
education, immigration, LGBTQ issues, gender rights.
The thing I love about giving to the ACLU is that you won't feel the pinch because the ACLU gives right back.
Hey, Martin, I heard about your arrest record. 66 times.
As Bob Dylan said, I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now.
Oh, so cool.
Okay, settle down. We're in the home stretch.
Hi, I'm Emily Strayer, and I am a proud card-carrying member of the ACLU.
Hi, my name is Marty, and I'm a proud card-carrying member of the ACLU.
Hi, I'm Natalie, and I'm a proud card-carrying member of the ACLU.
Back in the Bush years, we spoke our truth to power, and we took a lot of heat,
but we stood our ground.
The ACLU of Southern California had our backs at the time.
And then they honored us by defending liberty and the right to free speech.
And we will be forever grateful for their support.
We're back with a new song that speaks our truth about this current administration.
And thankfully, the ACLU of Southern California is still around for us to honor them with it.
The song says it better than we can. Click on that donation link and show your support.
March, march to my own drum. March, march to my own drum. Hey, hey, I'm an army of one. I'm an army of one. March, march to my own drum. March, march to my own drum. Hey, hey, I'm an army of one. I'm an army of one. Tell the old boys in the white bread lobby what they can and can't do with their bodies. Temperatures are rising, cities are sinking. Cut the shit, you know your city is sinking. Lies are truth and truth is fiction. Everybody's talking, who's gonna listen? What the hell happened in Helsinki? March, march to my own drum. March, march to my own drum. Hey, hey, I'm an army of one. I'm an army of one. March, march to my own drum. March, march to my own drum. Hey, hey, I'm an army of one. I'm an army of one.
I'll say their names. Raya Milton in Ohio, Dominique Remy Fells in Pennsylvania, Lamia Beard in Virginia, Taja DeJesus and Yasmin Vash Payne in California, Penny Proud in Louisiana, Ty Underwood in Texas, Christina Gomez Renwald in Florida. The names could go on from every state for days, weeks, months, years. Transgender women of color murdered simply for being who they are. Even as we marched onto the streets to demand accountability, a group of men in Minneapolis attacked Iyana Dior, and she only survived when others pulled her to safety. The violence against transgender women of color, and specifically trans Black women, must stop. But don't expect protection from the federal government. The administration is actively undermining the very existence of transgender people, barring them from accessing everything from healthcare to military service. The ACLU has declared not one more. And with that mandate, it worked with a coalition of others to push through a bill that allows transgender and non-binary people incarcerated in California to specify the facility where they feel most safe, rather than be forced into a situation based on their sex assigned at birth. Dignity Health hospitals say, "Hello, human kindness." But you better look both ways. The ACLU is suing to stop Dignity Health from discriminating against transgender patients based on instructions they got from Catholic bishops. The ACLU is also fighting to ensure that public hospitals don't partner up with religious institutions that limit patients' access to care. HUD issues a rule that women's shelters should police gender and exclude women suspected of being transgender. The ACLU is working on that. California is known for strong protection for transgender and non-binary people on paper. But the ACLU still has to work to make sure those protections are effective in practice. We can see a better world. We're just not living in it yet. And we have a special shout out to the ACLU's social supporters, Leo and Sherry Frumkin. Now, please help me welcome music producer, songwriter, and committed activist, Justin Tranter.
Hello, I'm back, and I'm never leaving when it comes to supporting the ACLU of Southern California. I've been fortunate enough to be doing advocacy and fundraising work since high school. It is a core passion of mine. I'm humbled to have been honored for this work that I do by the ACLU last year because they have been doing this for way longer than I could ever imagine. There are people at the ACLU who do this all day, every day. I'm constantly learning from them. They're passionate, they are tireless, and we all owe them our complete support. So as if it wasn't enough to celebrate the ACLU, an organization that fights for the Constitution and Bill of Rights, we find ourselves in such a chaotic time as Americans, with the daily barrage of horrible news or something insane the president has said, that having the ACLU in place right now is more than a good thing. It's necessary. It's essential. But I bring good news, and I love good news, especially in these dark times. In these dark times, we have to celebrate the victories when we have them. And this is a really big victory. In the midst of the Trump administration's relentless assault on LGBTQ rights, especially on trans people, the Supreme Court drops this landmark decision in Bostock versus Clayton County. It says, federal law bars employers from firing workers for being lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. Thank you. Welcome to the 21st century. Finally, many attorneys and advocates brought the court to this tremendous, profound, incredible decision. But please know that victories like this do not happen without the ACLU. If you care about LGBTQ people, if you care about equality, if you care about the Bill of Rights, please hit that link and support the ACLU in any way you can. The future is ours, and the moment is now.
In 1923, Upton Sinclair founded ACLU SoCal after being arrested for reading the Bill of Rights to a group of striking workers in San Pedro. 45 years later, in Chicago, at the Democratic National Convention, 7 anti-war activists organized what was supposed to be a peaceful protest, but it devolved into a bloody and violent clash with the Chicago Police Department and the Illinois National Guard. What followed was one of the most notorious civil rights trials in history, with William Kunstler and Leonard Weinglass leading the defense. And here is a short teaser from the trial of the Chicago 7.
You know why you're on trial here?
The whole world is watching! The whole world is watching!
You all right? It was until I saw that.
The whole world is watching! The whole world is watching!
Martin's dead.
The whole world is watching!
Bobby's dead.
The whole world is watching!
Jesus is dead.
The whole world is watching!
They tried it peacefully. We gonna try something else.
The whole world is watching!
These rebels without a job, they're a threat to national security.
It's revolution. We may have to hurt somebody's feelings.
Get out of the street! Get out of the street!
When you came to Chicago, were you hoping to draw the police into a confrontation? I'm concerned you have to think about it.
Give me a moment, would you, friend? I've never been on trial for my thoughts before.
The whole world is watching!
This is the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America.
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion
or prohibit the free exercise thereof,
or abridging the freedom of speech
or of the press,
or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government
for a redress of grievances.
I just want to say thank you to the ACLU for all you do and all you're continuing to do, especially right now.
It was a great honor to be recognized by the ACLU in 1992 with Anita Hill. She was bullied for telling the truth about the sexual harassment she endured from Clarence Thomas. When she bravely testified before the Senate, as I said in 1992, we watched her and we saw ourselves sitting in that chair and we felt violated. She is not unlike another woman of color getting bullied recently, Kamala Harris. She was attacked as the other by this liar-in-chief, Mr. Trump, who was using the same birther line he used on President Obama. His lies are not even original. It didn't work then and it won't work now. It powerfully underscores the continued struggle for women's rights and racial justice. It is finally gratifying after all these years to see a woman who will fight such vileness on a Democratic Party ticket. She will hold her own against Trump's right-wing allies who seek to deny women power and people of color their full rights. The ACLU has always been a defender of justice and equity, a protector of free speech, democracy, and the rule of law, and a fighter for women's reproductive freedoms. In its passionate defense of civil rights, the ACLU of Southern California has improved all our lives, and that is especially true for women. It embodies its belief in its legal and advocacy practice, with a majority of women in leadership roles across most departments. Today, the ACLU of Southern California is championing family and sick leave bills at a time when sick leave could not be more crucial for our families while COVID-19 strains our healthcare systems and exposes serious inequities. Our American principles are under grave attack today. We have perhaps never faced a greater existential threat to our republic and our democracy since the Civil War, or a more defining moment about our American future since the Revolutionary War. I was proud to be part of this great organization in 1992, and I am proud to be part of this great organization still today. For our families, our health, our national ideals, and our civil rights, the ACLU is needed now more than ever. I thank you.
Well, you came for a party and we gave you an education. Thank you so much for joining us in this celebration of the ACLU of Southern California and our glorious Bill of Rights. I hope you were as moved and inspired as I have been, and I hope you were moved and inspired to click that donation link and show some love for the ACLU. Love is love. And because I love that you stuck with us through to the end, I'm gonna send you home with something. Wait, you're already home. So sit back, relax, and get comfortable as I introduce to you Shia Diamond, a radiant and ferocious singer, songwriter, and transgender rights activist with a song that's gonna knock you out. And if you're smart, you'll hang around to the end because we put some special prizes in there along the way. Shia, it's all yours, girl. Slay 'em.
I am America.